Thank you for joining us. Welcome to LumioStation.
What is going on, YouTube? Joe here with CullinationMedia, bringing you yet another Pokemon X&Y Wi-Fi battle today against Sam. And from the looks of things, we're both packing a Scizor. On my side, it's going to be Mega Scizor. On his side, well, we don't know. He could also have Mega Alakazam, or if he wants to be that guy, he could have Mega Gengar. But I'm going to say he's a cool guy and doesn't have Mega Gengar. He also has Goodra, which is going to be his special wall, Prankster Sableye, and Greninja, which is your standard, speedy attacker and all that jazz. On my side, I've got my sticky web setter in Galvantula. My walls are Gliscor and Milotic. And then I've got Specs Typhlosion, Mega Scizor, as I mentioned, and Nasty Plot, Miss Magius. So that's pretty much it for the teams. At the risk of just going on, forever and ever about these teams, I'm just going to say, let's just get right into this battle. Enough about the what-ifs. So I'm going to start off with my Galvantula, to set up the sticky webs and stuff, and he's going to start off with his Sableye, and I really thought he would go for the knockoff to, get rid of my Focus Sash, or, at the very least go for Will-O-Wisp to get rid of it, or potentially burn a switch-in. But he goes for the taunt, so my sticky web does not work. Then he goes for the Will-O-Wisp, and now my Focus Sash is gone as I go for the Thunder here, and I'm like, that's probably going to do some decent damage. And it does about 75% to this Sableye, so I'm okay with that because that's within KO range. So he pretty much has to switch here if he wants to preserve this Sableye for later and not have him killed already. So he is going to switch out, and he's going to go into his J-Lo, which is the best name ever for a Goodra. It has to be the best nickname that I've seen so far. So I just went for the Volt Switch there because I figured, what, if he stays in, Sableye dies. If not, I can switch, to whatever I want to, combat what he brings in. And I figured that Nuragami here would be the best choice because I can Toxic the Goodra and wear him down that way. Because other than that, I don't really have anything that I want to just bring out to face this thing. So I go for the Toxic, he predicts that and goes into Scizor to absorb it. Very nice prediction there. Worked out perfectly for him, and it turns out that he is carrying the Mega Scizor just like I am. And I wanted to see what he would do here, so I decided to just go for Scald on this turn. I'm not too worried if he tries to Swords Dance, which ends up being what he tries to do here, because I have Dragon Tail. I can phase him out if he tries to rack up too many boosts. So I just go for the Scald, and I get the burn on the first turn. I was not trying to lay down some Mad Diesel rhymes there, but come on, man. That never happens to me. I never get first turn burns, but I did this time. So the first Swords Dance was pretty much moot. I get some residual damage going, and he decides to go for another Swords Dance, but I'm not having any of that today. I go for the Dragon Tail, phase him out. In comes Casper the Friendly Ghost, Gengar, and he's going to go for the Thunderbolt, and I eat that up pretty nicely considering how powerful Gengar is from a special attacking standpoint, and yeah, so not too bad. Looks like it's going to be a 3-hit KO, and I'm okay with that. Looks like with Black Sludge damage, even if I get a high damage roll, Scald is not going to be able to kill. It's a 3-hit KO on both sides, so that's awesome. So Scald it is, and I get him down to very low health, and I get another burn. What in the world? What in the world is going on? This is craziness. Unfortunately, with the Black Sludge, he's not going to be KO'd by that burn damage, and I'm going to have to switch out here because, he's going to outspeed me before I can go for the recover, and I'm not ready to get rid of Nuragami just yet. So I can, take the Thunderbolt pretty nicely here with Kumanga. I don't have to worry about, wasting a Focus Sash or anything. That ship has sailed a while ago, and not to mention the fact that the burn damage on this turn will be enough to kill Gengar, so I don't have to worry about outspeeding him or anything like that. And now I can just bring in Nuragami either to go for a recover, or I can just sack it off later if need be. In comes the Sableye again, and after falling for the taunt thing the first time, now that I know he has it, I'm not going to just go for the Sticky Web. I'm not going to fall for that twice. So I just go for the Volt Switch on the first turn. He goes for the taunt, but it does nothing. And he probably should have went for the recover there. But that's okay. He just did not want that Sticky Web up. Probably because he has Greninja waiting, and that would be too much of a risk. So I'm going to Volt Switch into Nightwing. Sableye goes down, and Scizor is going to come in next. And since he's burned, he's pretty much useless, honestly. He has to go for, you know, at least 2 Swords Dances to be able to do any kind of damage. All the while, he's taking burn damage, and, you know, he's going to also eat an Earthquake here. And I thought I might be able to kill him this turn, but that's not the case. And it's unfortunate. So instead of, I guess, just letting him die, he's going to switch him out because maybe he just thinks that Bullet Punch is too valuable, even at -2 or half attack from the burn. So he's going to bring in Greninja, and I go for the Protect just to see what he does. I'm assuming he has Ice Beam. He does have the Ice Beam. So I'm just going to switch into Kumonga now because I do not need Galvantula anymore. He pretty much did a lot more than I thought he was going to in this match. So I'm fine with him dying. And that also lets me see what item this Greninja has. It turns out he has a Life Orb. So I'm going to go into my Tinsect now. I can Mega Evolve, go for the Bullet Punch because he is now an Ice type. And there's nothing he can do about it. He would have to switch into something that's willing to take a Bullet Punch. And he doesn't really have anything to do that. So he's just going to let his Greninja die. And that's really bad news for him because that's pretty much his best offensive threat at this point. So in comes the J-Lo, and these things almost always carry Flamethrower or Fire Blast. So I can't, you know, kill him off in one hit. I don't have a Swords Dance up or anything, or 2 Swords Dances. So I'm going to switch out to Noragami to take the Fire Blast. And I figured I would survive, and yeah, it doesn't really do any damage at all. And in fact, I recover most of it with leftovers, so that's cool. So I wasn't sure if he was going to have Thunderbolt, but he does have Thunderbolt. So I'm like, okay, this is probably a Dragon Pulse or Draco Meteor plus Fire Blast plus Thunderbolt plus maybe like Toxic or something set. So now I'm going to go into Nightwing and go for the Toxic, you know, start wearing this thing down finally. And, you know, get some Toxic damage. I need that in order to be able to get a KO with Scizor coming in. But it turns out that this thing also has Ice Beam. So now Nightwing is down in 1 hit. And that's not good. I've lost both of my walls. Kumonga is down. So I'm just not having a good streak right here. I just lost 3 Pokemon. So into Spectra I go. I know he probably can't do anything to me here. He certainly won't have a super effective move. So I can tank 1 hit at least. While I go for the Nasty Plot. He's going to go for the Fire Blast here. And that doesn't quite do half. So I'm thinking maybe he doesn't have the Dragon Pulse, or maybe he doesn't have a Dragon move. Maybe he just has coverage moves. I don't really know at this point. So I'm going to go for the Shadow Ball. And even with the Nasty Plot, it doesn't even do close to half. So that's just craziness. I am able to live the Fire Blast, but I get a burn. So all of that luck from the first turn burn from before comes back to bite me, and Spectra goes down from the burn damage, and I'm only able to get off the 1 Shadow Ball. You know, thankfully it brings Goodra down to KO range with Bullet Punch, especially with the Toxic damage, and I don't have to worry about going for a Swords Dance and risk getting killed by Fire Blast. Goodra finally goes down, and that J-Lo was just nothing but trouble, my goodness. In comes the Alakazam. It goes for a Focus Blast. It misses. I do not think that would have killed either way. I think that would have been a 2-hit KO. But I just go for the U-turn either way. And Alakazam is going to go down. And I think he has 1 Pokemon left, if I am calculating correctly. So I'm going to go into my Typhlosion now. And knowing that Scizor's the last Pokemon, he has no health left. He would have to kill everyone on my team with 1 attack in 1 turn. And, I mean, I guess that's setting the bar a little bit too high. So I'm just going to go for the Eruption there. He goes for the Bullet Punch just to get some damage off. Kudos to him for not giving up. I have a lot of respect for people that play it all the way through. You know, it's all about the integrity of the game, and I like people who play like that. So definitely a good match. Pretty back and forth. That Goodra just gave me so much trouble. It had coverage moves to deal with most of my team. And I got a little bit lucky with some burns there, and he ended up getting lucky with 1 burn of his own. So overall, great match. Hopefully we can have another one at some point, but that's pretty much it for this time, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and do not forget to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. I'll see you for the next one, but until then, game on.